hell in here. Get some air blowing in here, man. What's going on, guys? It's Jay. Welcome back. I've been working on that part 2 that everybody has been waiting for of the grandma prank. So working on the part 2 of that. Also got some exhaust clips and stuff like that that I'm also working on. Today, one of the guys commented asking me what is the tune like because he's gonna be getting one. So I was like, well, boom. All right, guys, so if you're thinking about going flex fuel, going E60, E30, there's a few things you gotta know, there's a few things you gotta do. First thing, I'm gonna just kind of go over the parts you need, mixing and stuff like that. To run flex fuel on the FA20, which is gonna be the 2015 WRX and up, you're gonna need the Cobb flex fuel kit, and you're gonna need the AEM 340 or the DW, I think 300 or something like that. You're gonna need that. Low pressure fuel pump. Neither the low pressure fuel pump and the high pressure fuel pump, I don't think neither one are really E85 compatible, but definitely the low pressure fuel pump. Low pressure fuel pump is just like, you got to replace that. Some people have got by without it. I didn't want to do that. That is your fuel. In the middle of a pool and you run out of fuel, or you're at the high RPMs and you run out of fuel, or something happens and your car is going to blow up, man. Like, your fuel, why would you cheap out on your fuel? Like, you don't want to run into no issues with your fuel. That's just the bottom line. So just check the marketplace, check the groups. I got lucky. I found a guy that was parting out his car. He was about to tune it or whatever, and something happened and he had to part it out, his pieces. So I come up off a few pieces and got some good deals. That's pretty much all the parts you need to run flex fuel. You can see right now I'm on E60, 61.9%, so we're looking pretty good. That 60 be hitting different. Next thing is mixing the fuel. The mixing can be a little bit of a pain. It can be a little headache because I remember on my Sonata, I was running E30 and I know my up because I didn't have this flex. I didn't have the ethanol sensor. I was gonna get one, but I didn't have an ethanol sensor, and I wasn't even using a calculator. I was just doing the 5 gallons of E. I would run my gas all the way out. I would run that bitch about empty. I'll put 5 gallons of E, and then the rest would be 93, and that was my E. That was supposedly my E30 mixture, but now looking back on it, it probably wasn't, because when you go to pumps, a lot of these pumps really aren't E85. They're probably like E80, E82, something crazy like that. So it's gonna read a lot lower. I have an app on my phone. The app I can put in my fuel level. I can put in how much I think's in the pump. I can put in how much E I'm trying to get to, and it'll like calculate it out for me. It makes it a lot simpler. But the one thing I learned to do is where you put in how much ethanol you think is in the pump. I set it kind of lower. I set it at like 80 or 82, because if it is lower, I'm still going to hit either at or above my goal. So going above your goal a little bit isn't bad. You just don't want to go too crazy with it. You don't want to be at like E70 or like E69, like crazy shit like that. So usually I land around like 59 or 62, somewhere in there. So I mean, those are okay numbers. Now if you want to go full E85, you can get the upgraded high pressure fuel pump, but the benefits of going full E85 is just you don't have to mix anymore. So I don't know, that would just be up to the user, whoever you are. I mean, if you want to spend $700 to not have to mix the gas, then I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. If that's what you want to do, then I mean, it takes a lot of the headache out. But I mean, to me personally, I don't know. If it being flex fuel, I can always just put in 93 or something, like if I go on a trip. Bro, my radio has been tweaking today. My personal thoughts on flex fuel, nuts. If you're thinking about going flex fuel, bro, like, it's way, like, it's more than I expected to be, honestly. I'm not even gonna lie to you, because when I had the night before I had my final revision, it was like my revision 7 or something like that. I took it out to Mexico, and off the line, this dude that used to beat me all the time, I put like 3 cars on him and pained him. He's like a full bolt-on with E30, so put like 3 cars on him, and then on the way back, he killed me because I guess the tuning wasn't right. Because Ambot, he kind of puts in like parameters around your RPM ranges whenever you're driving. So like you can't really get too crazy with it. Like if you try to floor it or something and you get into like the higher RPMs, like when I was at the lower revisions, like 3, 4, and 5, it would like cut out. That's what it was pretty much doing on revision 7. He got me on that. The next night I had my final revision and I took it out. Same thing, launched it 3 car lengths, and then we did a roll back in second. And we were kind of neck and neck, but then I hit third and I just went to freight training. Like this bitch just went to pulling. But the flex fuel, the E60 on this car, it's just nuts, bro. Like I'm not even kidding you. I love E60 on this car. It's hella fun. The biggest thing I've noticed being on flex fuel or being on when I'm running E60 is my gas mileage. It does go down a little bit, unfortunately, but I'm still averaging like 25 miles per gallon, so that's not too bad. It's just, it does burn through the tank pretty fast if you're like driving it every day, cruising around, things like that. So mileage and the mixing is probably the only 2 downsides of flex fuel, but they're not really downsides. It's just things that come with it. I mean, right now on a virtual dyno, I'm making 324 at the wheels, so that's give or take, being as a virtual dyno, so give or take some of that. But if you convert that to crank, that's like 380 horsepower, so it's not too bad. It's a really conservative tune, to be honest, because most guys on flex fuel on E60 are probably pushing around 380 at the wheel, 370 the intercooler and the downpipe and things like that. So I'll be getting closer to that stage 2. So by the time I get to that, I'll probably be pushing a little bit more power than I am now. But for now, it's plenty power. It's plenty. I mean, I'm definitely 100% happy with my tune. And being on E60, it's definitely worth it. So if you're interested in flex fuel, I'd go for it. The most bang for your buck, honestly. If you want to do flex fuel, go for it. Definitely, you'll love it. But that's pretty much all I got for today, guys. I appreciate you guys watching. Leave a comment down below. I can try to answer some of your questions if you're curious about flex fuel. You can also follow me on Instagram, and I post random stuff all the time on there. So follow me on my Instagram. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel and turn on that notification bell so you can always know when I upload. So hopefully I'll be getting something I've been wanting for a little minute in a few weeks. Hopefully, I'm hoping, because me and the guy was talking, everything was cool. And then I hit him up the other day. He hasn't got home yet, and he hasn't really said anything. So I don't know. It might be going down the drain. But I mean, I'm optimistic, man. I'm always gonna keep my head up. If it don't work out, I'm always gonna find a way, because I definitely want this. I've been wanting this for a minute, so it's definitely coming. I appreciate you guys watching, man. Catch you on the next one. Make sure y'all are subscribed. Like this video. Stop playing. And I'll catch you on the next one.